following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to Gate City Chronicles. I'm Kevin Avard, your host, and today I'm joined with Carole Soule from Miles Smith Farm, correct?
Correct, yes.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Kevin.
Oh, well, I enjoyed my conversation with you before the camera. Now we're going to have it on camera.
Excellent.
So this is wonderful. Basically, the theme of our interview is going to be talking about local farms, local food, and how to support that, which I find very interesting. Once in a while, you see the bumper stickers, support your local farmer. If you're eating, thank a farmer. And one of the things that people take for granted is that the farms are getting smaller and smaller, and the grazing areas for these farms they need
seemingly to disappear.
Seemingly to disappear.
Seemingly, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about the Miles Smith Farm.
Well, Miles Smith Farm is named after Miles Smith, who founded the farm in the 1830s. He lived there with his wife and his 3 daughters, and right now he is still residing on the farm in the cemetery. He and his wife and his daughters are on a cemetery on the farm, and they keep watch over us to make sure we're doing it right.
That's kind of spooky.
It is, but on Halloween,
right.
a nice time of year to think about it. And he's a benevolent spirit, so it's really great.
Okay,
yeah. I think he likes what we're doing. The farm is on the top of a hill, and it's been farmed, obviously, continuously for over 150 years now. We are really proud to be there, to be on that farm, and to be able to bring it back into farming.
Right.
My first husband and I lived there through the 90s, and everybody asked us why didn't we farm? Why didn't we make money off the farm? Well, in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, nobody cared about local food. And suddenly in the 2000s now, there's a lot more interest in local food. So my current husband, Bruce Dawson, and I started in 2002 with 2 Scottish Highlander cows.
Oh.
And we were told they were
the hairy cows.
These are the hairy cows. They're the horns.
Yes,
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah, and we picked them because they are easy to handle. They didn't need a barn. We didn't want to build a barn for them. They deal with predators. We had some sheep before that, and 5 of the sheep got eaten by coyotes.
And those farms, well, they get the horns, and they'll
They don't. They take care of the coyotes. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And we do have a good coyote population.
There's a good coyote population. We've lost a calf to coyotes.
My cousin David, actually, it's funny. I helped him deliver a cow, and that was such hard work. Oh, I pulled that thing, and that thing weighed a ton, and I was sweating. That was, but we brought it into the world.
But it lived, right?
It lived.
It's great. It's great.
But,
well, that's the nice thing about the Scottish Highlanders. We've only had to help 2 or 3 of them give birth. Most of the time, it's natural, and there's the calf right there in the ground.
Now, I believe there's going to be a Whole Foods store here in Nashua. Now, do you distribute to anything like them?
We mostly sell. We have an on-farm store that's also solar powered, which is exciting because it's everything. Cows are solar powered. Our store is solar powered, and I say the cows are solar powered because our cows eat grass.
Right.
And the sun makes the grass grow. We sell to a lot of local small groceries like A Market in Nashua, in Manchester, and in Concord, the Concord Co-op, and Harvest Market in Hollis. So we sell to a small stores around the state.
So when you say it's fresh, it's fresh.
It's
right
fresh.
Off the,
it's
right off
fresh.
The farm.
Yeah, we do sell frozen as well, but it's within a few weeks of being harvested.
Now,
And I have an exciting thing too to tell you.
Sure.
We sell all of the meat to the Concord School District.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. I thought that's fascinating.
It is, and what we've heard is that parents are telling their kids now they can eat the meat in the school because they know it's local, healthy meat, and it's getting the kids more and more kids are eating it because it actually tastes good.
Right. Well, people are worried about these the hormones injected into the food to make the stalk bigger, make it grow faster. Obviously, that translates into the human
Into
body
the system,
as well.
yeah.
And more people are getting concerned about that. You wonder if some of the obesities that we're having a problem with may have to do with the actual hormones in the beefs or in the pork. Do you grow any pigs at all, or?
Well, it's funny you say that because we got our first pig today,
Ah,
Charlotte,
no.
and she got out. She immediately got out.
Right.
But we fed her some apples and she came back in. So we
Great
have a pig. And the viewers.
That's funny.
Viewers are welcome to come and meet her because on October 13th, we're going to have a farm day, which is an open house on the farm. It's a free event, and we invite the public to come and see what it's like to be on our farm.
Right.
We expect a lot of people, so we have buses that drive people up and down the road to our farm.
So is your a beef farm, or is it beef and dairy, or is it?
No, it's just beef. We just do beef. We do have some birds now. We have chickens and goats and no, not goats, chickens. They sometimes sound like goats. Chickens and ducks and geese and a couple of turkeys that we just inherited. But our biggest focus is meat. We do beef.
Do you show them at the Deerfield Fair and the Hopkinton Fair?
Well, that's interesting you ask because there's a family we work with who just bought some of our cattle, and they showed the cattle they bought from us at Deerfield. So I went and watched and saw what they did, and it's fun. I think we'll do it next year.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit of work, but it's part of the community.
It is, and fairs are great.
Fairs are great. Yeah. For years, we used to go to the Hopkinton Fair, and I was amazed at how big some of those cows can get.
Yeah.
I mean, just absolutely enormous. They look like they're rhinos.
Some of them do, don't they?
They're that big.
Yeah.
Now, are those dairy cows, or?
Well, some of them are dairy. Some are oxen. Now, the ones we raise don't get to be that big. The Scottish Highlanders are traditionally, they're a heritage breed, so they stay on the small side. But we also raise Angus crosses, which get a little bigger.
I was just going to ask you now, is there a difference in taste between the Scottish and the Angus beef, or?
There's a little bit, but mostly it depends on what they've eaten.
Right.
So if they've eaten a lot of grass, which all of our cattle do eat grass, it's really tends to be, the flavor's not that much different between the breeds. When you start feeding them grain, it does change the flavor.
To what?
Well, it's mostly the fat content. It gets fattier and a little juicier. It's a lot juicier than the grass-fed animals.
Oh, so that's interesting. And so you would prefer them to eat grass? But
Well, grass is what it's all about. I mean, when you think of it, if you had to, if you raise corn, you have to have a machine that goes out and harvests that corn and cuts it and brings it back and then feeds it to the animal. And then the animal is in one place when they eat it, so you have to take their manure away and spread it on the land. Whereas grass, the cattle is a perfect grass machine.
Sure, it eats it and fertilizes it.
Exactly, in one fell swoop. It's great. So what we've done is we only have on our farm 36 acres. So we've reached out to different landowners who have gotten to know us, people with an apple orchard or a field that they haven't mowed in years, or something that they want to, preserve. They don't want to put houses on it. They don't want to grow houses on it. So we've have over 200 acres of land around the state where the landowner has come to us and said, "Would you fence this and put some cattle on it?" And we go, "Yes, of course we will."
Nice.
So we provide the fencing. We need a commitment from the landowner for, I don't know, 8 or 10 years so that we can know we have that land.
Right.
And then we'll move our cattle. We have, my husband and I have a trailer that we call the cow taxi.
Right, and so you bring them over
We move them from field to field, and it's exciting now because
So you move them a lot, don't you? Yeah, I'm really bad at my house for cow jokes. I've got a lot of them.
Yeah, they
like to go to the movies.
They do. Our cows do.
Now, are you looking for places in Nashua?
Oh, yes, I do. And can I make a pitch to
Sure.
the Nashua residents?
Absolutely.
So if any of you folks in Nashua know of a 20-acre field, 25-acre field that's unused and needs to have cattle, get in touch with us.
Get in touch with you. And how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can call us at 603-783-5159. or they can check out our web page. We also have a Facebook page that's very active. We have over about almost 1,500 users likes on our Facebook page. And like us, we'd love to have more likes.
Well, a tough question to ask you, but you must have to slaughter them from time to time, obviously. Do you sell the hides?
We have some hides, but the hides don't sell very well, so we don't usually bring the hides back. Because then you have to salt them and handle them. It's a very difficult process.
Right. There used to be a tannery in Pennacook.
Yeah, we had to send ours to Iowa.
Really?
Yeah,
to have it
to have it processed, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's a shame that it gets wasted. But
it doesn't get wasted. The processing plant takes them and they put them, sell them, and they go to leather. They get used. They do get, every part of the animal gets used.
So how long does it take to process, to get from the birth to getting processed as a beef? How old is it before you send it to slaughter?
Well, we like to think of our cattle as employees.
Okay.
So they have lifetime employment.
Right. Okay.
They have health care. They have all they can eat.
Yep.
They have they also have recreation, and the bulls and the cows get together, and they have their recreation too, which is great. It depends on the animal. The Highlanders, Scottish Highlanders, can take 3 to 4 years to mature, and some of the others get done in 18 months or 2 years. So it's a long process.
How is the APA working with you? I mean, are you finding more and more regulations, and are they infringing upon the farms at all, or do you find that the times are getting tougher for farmers, with all the regulations out there?
In New Hampshire, not.
Okay.
New Hampshire is totally cool. Live free or die really is live free or die.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot, and I don't know whether it's, and I have to hand it to Lorraine Merrill and the Department of Agriculture, who have really given us a good, strong basis for support. And Lorraine Merrill, who's the director of the Department of Agriculture, is a dairy farmer herself, which is a wonderful thing.
Well, it would make sense, right? I mean, you have to have somebody in the industry that knows it well, that works it, knows the struggles, and you don't want the heavy hand of the government kind of impeding your growth.
Right, and they in some ways they do impede it because of the USDA regulations, and of course right now we do have an issue, maybe over with by now, but the government shutdown is affecting us right now too.
Is it?
Yeah,
right.
A little bit. But I did want to say something about the state of New Hampshire being a great state for having cattle. When you think of it, we're hills and rocks.
Right.
We're just all kinds of terrain, which is not conducive to flatland farming. You can't take a grain combine out and cut hay. I mean, grow vegetables easily, or hay, or whatever. It's a lot very hilly. So what I want to say about the cattle is that they are the perfect mooing machine.
Yep.
They deal with hills. They don't care about rocks. They can get places that mooing machines. They're the perfect mooing machine. We're working with a farmer in Litchfield now named Steve Normanton, who has 150 head of cattle, and we actually sublease some of our pasture to him. And it's incredible to see the herd go to pasture. They just deal with it, and they get rid
I'm
of
sure
that.
they appreciate them, fertilizing the fields and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So that's interesting. And how many head do you have?
We have 66. We just had a calf born the other day.
Now, do you plan on making it grow even further, or?
What we're going to do is, I think what we'll do is try to work with other farmers and get other farmers. There are a lot of farmers in the state who have cattle, and they don't want to do what we do. They want to just have some cattle, and then what we'll do is we'll approach them and buy those cattle from them, the grass-fed cattle that are raised in the same way that we raise them. And we want to work with those other farmers to make sure they have enough pasture so that they can have their grass-fed cattle available to the state of New Hampshire. We really want to feed the state of New Hampshire on grass-fed beef. I think we can do it.
Right. Well, yeah, it's going to be healthier for you, and it's all these diseases and all the other things that are out there. Nobody can, whether it's breast cancer or you wonder. What's are they monkeying around with the food? I guess there was a study, or you hear the commercial now and then. 1 out of every 80 kids have some type of genetic birth defect of some sort. And that's almost epidemic. Why? Why all of a sudden? You know, is it in the food? Is it in the water? You know, everybody asks it jokingly, but what is that disease there when the Rain Man?
Right.
Autism. Right.
Autism. Yeah.
But it has to be something in the food or something in the atmosphere. Why wouldn't you want a all natural food? You know?
It's interesting because you say that, and I'm a Facebook fan, and I was looking the other day at one of the a posting. I think is grow food, not lawns. We're saying something like we call it organic. Our parents called it food. You know, so
Right.
it's like we used to eat this way, and it's just getting back to that way we used to eat.
Right.
You know.
As far as the pig, you're going to start with one. Obviously, you're
Oh,
going to.
it's going to be hard. She was going to be our bacon pig, but she's
Don't get attached to them.
I know. Actually, speaking of attachment to cattle, when people come to our farm day on October 13th, it's a Sunday, it's Columbus Day weekend, we have incredible activities, and one of those activities is cow riding.
I'm seeing that, cow rides, hay
and there's
rides.
a picture there. You can see.
Cemetery walks, live music. Who are you going to have for music?
We have a Celtic group that's coming, and a fiddler who's going to be playing on the hay wagon that
nice.
goes around. Yeah, but it's cool because we have some cows that have demonstrated that they like people.
Oh,
that
really?
They're people friendly, and these cows, we put saddles on them.
Yeah, I can see that. It looks like a hairy horse.
It does, and they just go around and they just do their thing. And I also have some working steers that would be pulling a cart. So it's an event where people can get up close and have fun with the animals, which is what we do every day on the farm.
And this is up in the...
This is in Loudon at our farm on, it's off of Route 106,
Right.
near the racetrack.
So
Our cows have
basically you
been to
go
the
393 to 106.
to 106 North, and we've got a sign out there. There'll be a lot of signs. It's a free event. Some of the activities cost. We're going to have food. We're going to have all kinds of activities for kids to do, and they can meet the pig.
Right?
You know, the pig, we brought the pig home, and she immediately escaped. Did I say that already?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Great
okay.
pig, right? So what is the website? It's...
The website is www.milessmithfarm, there's 2 S's in that, .com. And we have a Facebook page, which is just Miles Smith.
Miles Smith.
It's Miles Smith Farm, so you can find us there.
Okay.
And we want the public to come in and have a great day.
There's a lot of deer out in Loudon.
There's deer, and we have wild turkeys out there, too.
Oh, they're everywhere. Yeah,
I know.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember hunting for turkey years back, and
Couldn't find them.
oh, I was out in Bow, and I had my little turkey thing going, and I had my mask on, and I'm, and I had my bow because it was bow season.
Yeah.
And nothing. I get in my car, I drive up the road by the bog in Dunbarton. Yeah, did it. They walk right in front of the car. It's like
Thumb their noses.
exactly, right?
Exactly, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
this isn't right. And you can't shoot them from your car, so.
I guess not.
No, that wouldn't be
doesn't
ethical.
work.
No,
That
and
doesn't
it
work.
takes the fun out of it anyway.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, it does.
So anyway, any final thoughts that you want to leave with our viewers?
Well, I just want everyone to know that raising cattle is, earlier you asked me a question about delivering the cattle to being processed. And I have a close connection to all my cattle, so whenever anyone goes, it's a difficult process.
Sure.
It's very difficult. But it's important that we all get that connection to our food.
Right.
Because as much as we, it's an environment where we're working with these animals. They're our partners. So it's so much better to have an animal that you've partnered with, and they're also, after they're gone, they're continuing to give back in
Right.
in the best way they can.
Yeah, and it's kind of comforting to know. I know you probably don't go to the extreme like they do out in Japan where they massage it and, that.
I don't know. We have some volunteers, and they come pretty close sometimes.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
But if they live a good life, that's...
It's important.
You don't want them to be like the soil and grain type of thing where they're just processed,
Right.
patty, that type of thing is kind of scary.
Yeah, and each cow has its own personality.
Sure.
And even though they end up, some of them, as food, they still need to be respected and honored.
Right.
When they go. It's
Yeah.
really important. And that's really what I want people to know.
Yeah, that seems very reasonable. Yeah, got to eat, and so treat them with respect. Thank you
Yep.
for your gift, and thank you for coming on the
You're
show.
welcome. Thanks, Kevin. It's been a
Okay.
pleasure.
My pleasure. Well, we hope to have you back.
I'd love to come.
Okay. All right. That's it for now. Thank you for watching Gate City Chronicles. Until next week. Thank you for watching Gate City Chronicles. And we want to thank our sponsor, Avard Dean of Clean, the carpet cleaner in Nashua. You can reach him at 603-630-1743. And if you would like some more information about Gate City Chronicles or want to be a guest, contact me at gatecitychronicles@gmail.com. Until next week, thanks for watching.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.